Hello everyone, happy holidays from Omaha. Buddy here again for part 2 of the final challenge for Next Top Nail Artist, sponsored by Nails Magazine. Today we were asked to do a challenge specifically about us. We were asked to create a full set of nails on a live model that kind of depicted either who we are as a person or kind of spoke to who we are as an artist. I kind of took this in a different way, most specifically because I am a male and I just don't wear that kind of stuff at work. Mostly just because of functionality more than anything for me. But in turn, I ended up choosing something that I would actually like to maybe wear on myself. I wanted to do something that definitely included my favorite color, so you're going to see some orange in there. I wanted to kind of hark back to a photo that I had sent in initially with my application for this competition. It had spikes and sculpted roses and metal and chains, so I'm going to kind of tie in some of those elements as well. I wanted to do something kind of wild, so then I tied in a little bit of animal print with this design. Definitely some bling. I wanted it to be pretty and sparkly and fun, but still kind of have that hard edge to it as well. I definitely consider myself an eclectic person, so each nail's gonna be a little bit different. Both hands are gonna be different as well, but overall my intent is to kind of have them all go together. I'm gonna stick with, you know, a pretty simple color palette. I'm not gonna go too far outside of basically a handful of colors, but you know, I'm gonna tie in different elements of the animal print. I want to do some graffiti work possibly, so I definitely want it to be a little wild and out, as that's kind of who I am as an individual. You know, I definitely don't hold back, and I hope that you like that in my design. Alright, we are back and we're going to start one of the first designs for this full set. As you can see, there's a bit of a sheen to just part of this nail here. That's the foil glue that's already dried, and I just put it in random places. I'm going to use some gold leafing here because I wanted to almost create a leopard print, but definitely that loose gold. I keep mine in this here to try and protect it, and I'm just going to press it on right over. And that pretty much has covered everything here. So if I need to adjust a little bit, I can. And then I'm just going to pull off the big pieces right away here that I know aren't going to stick. And then we're just going to press it down and make sure that gold leafing sticks to that foil glue. And then I'm just going to use a soft brush here, and then slowly but surely that gold will work itself off. So, and then for the next step of this design, I'm going to fill the rest of this in with color. Alright, and then we are back with full color here. As you can see between both hands, they're similar but different. For example, on the pointer fingers here, I just switched the orange and the pink. Same thing with the middle fingers here. I already did a little bit of work with our pigment on this middle finger here. I kind of wanted to make it the snakeskin look, so I'm going to show you that here on this thumb as well. I'm going to go ahead and set that back. Just going to get a little bit of pigment on my brush. I've got something to start off with here. And then I'm just going to stretch this mesh material over the nail. So then I'm just going to take my pigment, making sure not to have too much on the brush because a little bit really does go a very long way. And I'm just going to start working it over the nail. Now the reason I chose this gold underneath is because I wanted that sparkle to show through. So once I've got the majority of it black here, all you have to do is peel it off. And then I'm going to come back with some either large pieces of glitter or something similar, and going to fill in a couple of those pieces as well. But I love that you can see the sparkle shining through that. So we're going to move on to the thumb here. which I also did a little bit of pigment on. I just did a gold pigment in a very easy fade and did a little bit of glitter over it. So that's going to be the pigment work for this portion of it. Alright, and as I mentioned, I'm going to add some large pieces of glitter to these. So I've got a few pieces of glitter on my tweezers, and I'm just going to place them over the black spots. These are iridescent pieces of glitter. They kind of have a bluish tint to them. And since the top of the shellac is still a bit sticky, I'm just putting them right on. So I'll just be careful when I put my top coat over this to lock them in place that I don't use too much pressure so these stay in place. So I just did a few on here like that, maybe one more at the top. Alright. See the finished look there, and then here's the finished look for the black and gold one. Alright, and we're going to start some of the hand painting here. As you can see on the pinky here, I've actually started with some of the hand painting and use a striping brush to do a zebra stripe design. So on this pinky here, I'm going to do a kind of sunburst design. So I want it to be similar to the opposite hand, but not exactly the same. And then where this sunburst comes together, I'm going to do kind of a big cluster of stones as well. So yeah, just like that. Like I said, I'm going to come back with another color to add another pop. This just is matted out right now because I took the shine off of it as I wanted to do the next layer of gel over that. Alright, for our next layer, you can see that I've started the leopard print design on this snail here. I'm going to go ahead and finish this snail as well. And I'm going to take a little bit of purple on our dotting tool. I'm just going to add in a couple more spots. I want this one to just kind of peek over the edge a little bit. So now that I've got the rest of those purple spots, I'm going to come back with my linear brush. I'm going to have it fairly wet as I want the paint to be really thin. And then I'm going to come back in and start creating our cheetah or leopard spots. And then we're just going to keep doing that to complete this snail here. Alright, next I'm going to work on the ring finger on this snail. I wanted to definitely have some dimension to this snail, so I'm going to hand paint chain link, going different directions. I'm probably not really going to have any rhyme or reason to it, but I wanted to add this micro chain here as the 3D element, so I thought that would look really fun. So we're just going to go ahead and get started with painting the chain link here. So there's a few links for us, and then I'm just going to come back and connect the links just like that. Alright, on this finger here you can see that I've started doing the outline for the graffiti work that I mentioned earlier. I like to come in and do the black first, because then you don't have to try and come back and outline nearly as much anyways as you normally would if you just started with your regular color. So I'm working on my bee right now. So now I'm going to come back in with a darker pink color, and that's going to be the base for this graffiti work. So, and then with each letter I'm going to add some highlights as well. So I'm just going to keep showing you what I'm going to do with the rest of them on this particular letter here. So as you can see, I've done the pink and we still have our black outline, so I'm going to come in with just a really light pink here. And just do some highlighting. And then to make it look ultra shiny, I'm going to come in with some white. And then just add some shine streaks. Just like that. Alright, I've done my gel top coat and I've actually left the sticky inhibition layer on the nails, and I'm just taking a little bit of clear hard gel, and then I am putting a few different spots here where I'm going to adhere some different embellishments. As you can see here on the pinky, I've done a large stone with several other small stones around it, and then added some glitter as well to the sunburst. So now I'm going to just take my tweezers and add a few details. Yeah, I love this crazy star. I think it's really fun. Alright, and for our next step, you can see for this pointer here, I did this square studs. And then on this one here, I'm going to do these round studs alternating in black and gold. Alright, and for our next step here, I went ahead and just took some clear gel in strands and then went ahead and laid some chain link over it. And next to it here on this middle nail, if you can see right in the center here, I've actually already started a little bit of mark there for a hole. And what I'm going to do is continue drilling this nail until I have a hole all the way through it. And what I'm going to do with this hole here is actually inset a stone into it. I wanted it to be like it was in an actual piece of jewelry where the stone would allow light to pass through it. So that's really where I got the inspiration for this nail. Alright, and now we have the hole drilled in the nail. It's right in the center of the tip, if you can see it there. What I've done is placed a small bead of glue in which I'm going to place the stone. And the edge of it sits basically completely flush with the nail, with just the top facets sticking out above. And you see how brilliant the stone is? Because the light can shine through it from the underneath. Alright, and for the next nail, as you can see here, I have started adding these spikes. And what I'm doing is taking just some clear gel, dipping the end of my spike into it. Of course, the sticky inhibition layer is still on this nail. And then I'm just going to place the spike exactly where I'd like it. Alright, and for the final element here on the pinky, I'm going to do a 3D rose. I took a dollop of orange and pink acrylic here. Just like that. Alright, and these here are going to be the completed nails. Though you can see that each nail is different, there's similar qualities to each one. Make sure to take a moment to hop on to ntna.nailsmag.com and vote for Buddy for part 2 of the final challenge for the Next Top Nail Artist competition. I thank you for following me on all of the social media networks, and we'll look forward to seeing you in California.